So were you in the auditorium for the Polishing the Shaft sermon?
The famous one that's on YouTube right now? Because he preached that sermon like 50 times.
The one that got famous.
Yeah.
Of course it hurts. Of course it's fire. Of course it's pain. Of course it's God says, shut up. I can handle it. I know what I'm doing. Oh, God, that hurts. Oh, God, I'm so tired. Oh, God, I didn't want to lose her. Oh, God, I didn't want to have that pain. Oh, God, no.
But no, the one that was there, that's like the YouTube famous one, I was not there for. I was already gone because that was like 2000, I don't know, like 8 or 9 or something. I've seen it. No, I was not there for that one, but I have seen. I've been in the service when he is
for that exact sermon.
And here's what's crazy, man, which a lot of people don't know this, but normally this is so wild. When he originally first started preaching that sermon, right? I was in high school when it actually first came out. That sermon first came out, right?
Okay.
So this would have been like 1999.
Yeah.
When it around the time frame when that sermon first came out. He preached that sermon at my high school on like when he wasn't the pastor yet.
Sure.
And the way that he used to do it in all the years that he did it until that one, you know how he used to do it? No. The way that he used to do it made a lot of sense. But that one is like you're watching it and you're like, I don't even understand what's happening right now. The way that he used to do it was he would actually get a stick, like an old stick from a tree, and a knife, and then he would kind of like carve the knife. Okay, and he'd make an arrow out of the knife, and he'd put a point on the tip of it, and there'd be like a bump in the stick or whatever, and then he would like sit there and like trim that. And he would use the knife, a big Bowie knife, and he would trim like and make an arrow. Okay, sure. That was the one, and which makes a lot more sense because he was trying to say like God hasn't to test you to see if you'll whatever. Yeah, and that one makes more sense and is not this sexual innuendo. But then the one on YouTube, which I wasn't there for, I never saw that one. It looks like a Saturday Night Live skit.
It's my favorite
like, there's
sermon
no way
clip
it's real.
I've ever seen in my life.
There's no way this is real. Like I if you ever watch it, I watched the men on the platform, their faces.
Yeah.
None of them break. None of them like.
Yeah, no.
They're just like.
That could easily be Will Ferrell. Like.
Yeah.
Like literally doing a sketch. It's so mind blowingly like. This is not real.
Facial expressions, hand gestures, what he was using, noise, like all of it. There's no way. I don't know, like, dude. That was. It's wild.
Especially anytime I need a good laugh, bro.
Because you know the background of it. It's like, how did you go from like carving a stick to an arrow?
Well, what's funny is I never saw that until after everything came out.
Again, let's give you a little bit of background about Jack Schaap. He was the lead pastor of the Hammond Baptist Church until his firing last July. Prosecutors say that he took advantage of a troubled 16-year-old girl who was a parishioner at the fundamentalist megachurch in Northwest Indiana and had come to him for counseling.
Because I was on tour for West Coast.
Okay.
During the summer where everything came out. And then I saw that clip afterward. And it was one of those just like, I think there were some signs, guys.
Yeah, no, there were definitely, I was gone by
there might have been a thing or two that would have tipped us off.
I had been gone for maybe like 5 years when all of it actually finally like broke, whatever it was. And I remember getting the news of it thinking, there's no freaking way. But then as you go back, what was crazy was, so my, the assistant that turned him in, who actually found the iPad, let's say, and actually turned him in, works for me.
Oh, really?
To this day, yeah.
Wow.
He's like an IT tech wizard.
No way.
Like that's what he does. And to this day, he works for me. And so I actually have like all kinds of like pretty in-depth information. And then matter of fact, because I ended up moving back up there to that area. It had already happened. He was already sentenced. He was already in jail. So this was several years later, maybe 3 years or 2 years, something later. I ended up moving back up there to do a bunch of real estate deals with a buddy, and was there for like 2 years. Well, while I was there was that massive transition going on in the church, right?
Yep.
And there was a lot of really good workers, like straight up like worker bees, there. And two of them were on his staff three of his personal staff I hired.
Oh, really?
And one of them to this day still works for me.
Yeah.
And the one that works for me lives in Florida now. But he was the one who actually turned him in. And I mean, he still works for me to this day in like IT. So I don't do fucking anything with iPads or on that dude. Like fucking, I don't post anything. It's all like, you know, and Apple's always like, do you want to sync this? I'm like, fuck no, I don't want to sync any shit.
It's all analog with him. Yeah, I write him letters.
Yeah. So but all three really good people, and I have a lot of behind the scenes information because they stayed through the whole time.
Yeah,
During the trial. Though. Yeah.
That's so wild, man. That was such a crazy.
It was a crazy time in life, though, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, FB's not gotten much better since then. Really,
no, I would say it's probably got worse.
Yeah.
From a standpoint of his scouting, it's what I would call it's very inbred. Is the issue
totally
is the biggest issue, and
the people are just getting weirder and weirder and less in touch with reality as time goes on.
At that moment when all that went down, a positive that could have taken place from there. I mean, a lot of that was obviously negative, but a positive that could have taken place was it could have been a giant shift in that whole, say, religion, if you will.
Yeah.
And they could have said, hey, from that, let's take this as all past and look for the new direction of who our identity, our brand should be.
Yeah.
And they didn't. They doubled down on their brand, which is already a dying fucking brand. It's like your Blockbuster, and you doubled down on that shit.
Yeah.
Even though Netflix just came out with like, not only like, it was like, this is a great analogy. It's like they were Blockbuster. Netflix already came out and was crushing you. And then Netflix then starts, that's when Netflix had like the mail-in DVDs though.
Yeah.
Imagine Netflix, you still stay at Blockbuster stores. Then Netflix goes online TV, which is what we all watch now.
Yep.
Okay, that's where it was, how far of a gap it was. And then your brand at Blockbuster, and then you being the leader of Blockbuster, like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just double down in what we currently have of more stores.
Yeah.
Or
We need to double our
know?
late fees.
Yeah, it's like we need to charge more if they don't rewind the VHSs for us. Like that was the concept of like, from a business perspective of looking at it, it was like, dude, that was like a moment you could have shifted, and they didn't. They doubled down on it, and to me, it's gotten worse. I mean, I don't have anything to do with it anymore. I'm kind of probably a unique one where like I don't hate them. I'm not. I don't know if I'd even say I'm against them. I just don't care. It's like I am agnostic to any of that stuff.
Well,
It's
there's good people and bad people everywhere.
Yeah.
In business, in churches, like you obviously hope to see fewer of them in churches, but that's just not the case. It's just, you know, there's always going to be a percentage of people that suck, and there's going to be a percentage of people that are good people.